When we think of workplace accidents, we imagine safety protocols, warning signs, and protective gear. But in the past, not so much. Circular saws were responsible for some of the most brutal and gut-wrenching accidents in history. These weren't just minor injuries. Some victims were nearly cut in half and others lost limbs. Here today are 5 gruesome circular saw accidents straight from historical newspapers. Our first case comes from Tacoma, Washington, in 1904, where a circular sawmill worker suffered injuries so horrific it's a miracle he survived. According to the newspaper, with 2 ribs and his left shoulder blade cut in 2 and one of the upper vertebrae cut, John Carmel, an employee of the Tacoma Mill Company, lies at the Fanny Paddock Hospital in a critical condition. Late yesterday afternoon, Carmel came in contact with a circular saw, and that he was not killed outright is little short of a miracle. Carmel, with a number of other employees of the mill who had just finished work, slid down an incline to the lower floor. Near the foot of this incline there is a circular saw. Carmel says he forgot that the saw was there, and when he reached the foot of the incline, it cut through his body as if he had been a piece of lumber. Fellow workmen dragged him away, and he was taken to the mill hospital, where Dr. Hicks and Dr. Stewart were called to attend him. Later, he was taken to the Fanny Paddock Hospital. The injured man is reported to be in a very critical condition. Now, Charles Wimbrough of Delaware was working at a lumberyard in 1913 when a simple misstep turned deadly. The report states, tripping over a board which threw him across a circular saw, Charles F. Wimbrough, a young man, met death when he was cut almost in half. He was dead when fellow workers pulled his body from the saw. But not every circular saw accident ended in death. Some victims adapted in remarkable ways. George Sutton was just a boy when a saw severed both of his hands, but instead of giving up, he became a professional billiards player. An article states, he uses no attachment to hold his cue, but has captured such use of the short, flexible muscles of the stumps of his arms that he asserts he has as perfect a wrist movement as any player. Despite his disability, Sutton became a legend in the sport. Now, in 1919, it was reported out of North Dakota that a young man had died of shock and blood loss after a circular saw injury. It said Carl and a brother were engaged in sawing up some old railroad ties when in some manner he slipped and fell into the rapidly moving saw. A terrible gash was cut in his left thigh, and his left leg was nearly severed. And finally, in 1921, a Wisconsin farmer was helping a neighbor cut firewood with a circular saw when the blade suddenly broke in two, one of the pieces tearing off one of his arms and cutting a deep gash in his head. And that is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, take care.